Hey everyone, welcome to this cool, exciting interview that we have here on the Author Acceleration Academy YouTube page. This is another in our Broken Chapters author interview series, and today we have one of our special authors with us, Joelene Powell. Welcome.
Hi, Krista. Good to see you.
Great to see you. I'm so glad that we were able to make this time work. I know you are jet setting to all kinds of different places around the world and doing all kinds of volunteer work for just wonderful things in your community and beyond. And so glad we're able to do this today, Jolene. Yes.
Me too.
Yeah, we worked it out. Okay. And for anyone who doesn't know, Broken Chapters is the book that has 21 authors. In fact, the subtitle is 21 Testimonies of How God Rewrites Our Life Stories. And Jolene, actually, her chapter is chapter 9, and it is called Hidden Things Healed by the Light. Now,
Yeah.
I really love your chapter and your story that you told. And I wrote, if you don't mind, before we get into that, I just want to read a little bit of your bio, if that's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
right. Okay, Joelene Powell, author, mentor, creative. And author Joelene Powell has walked with the Lord for 38 years. She's a single mother of 3 amazing young adult boys and has recently gained the status of Gigi to twins. So congratulations on that. Very, very exciting. And Jolene is a friend and mentor to many, loves serving her community in various ways. You've been in healthcare for over 26 years, and you teach courses and write curriculum, and you're just involved in so many things, Jolene, that are just, you're just such a giver. I just see that in you so much. And so why did you want to be involved in the Broken Chapters book? Like what made you want to tell your story? And if you would just give listeners a little bit of detail about what your story is about.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I have known Krista from a group that we're in, 100X, and I knew of Author Acceleration Academy, and I was interested in being a part of that. But when the opportunity came to do the Broken Chapters, I absolutely knew that this was a project that I wanted to be a part of, to be able to share a chapter in my life that could help lead from brokenness to breakthrough. And so this was a project that I could get behind. And I just, when she announced she was doing it, I just knew that I needed to be a part of this. So it was a great opportunity. And I was like, yes, I want to be part of that, and reached out to her. So it was great. And yeah, so my chapter, to be honest, when I started writing my chapter, it is not what I expected. It is not what I actually started to, when I reached out to Krista, I was like, I'm going to tell this story. And when I actually sat down and wrote my chapter, it was the exact opposite of the story I thought I was going to tell. And when I was writing this story, I'd sit down to start, and I just really sat down and was like, God, what needs to be told? What does someone need to hear to have breakthrough? And it had to be so personal that when you read it, you can feel it. And so it took me back to my childhood, which sometimes can be tough. And sometimes that's hard to walk out, especially when it has to do with family. And so there were things in my childhood that I had very much kept hidden. And even if you've not read my book or my story chapter in this book, you won't know unless you're watching this video, because I don't tell a lot of things from childhood things. And so in this chapter, I really talk about an instance where things had been spoken over me and things had been said to me so many times throughout my childhood. And it led me to where I actually started binge eating and started hiding that. And then the events that took place along the way, and how that I would get praised for things that were happening because I could hide it so well. Like I would babysit and clean people's houses while I babysit, and they would praise me, but they didn't know I was taking food out of their pantries and eating it and eating as much as I could without them noticing. And so it really took me through this journey of recognizing why things triggered me, and why I chose, to hide things for so long. And then I will tell you though, as you go through this journey and you see, it is a lifelong battle, but a few years ago, this family member, he passed away from dementia. And there was a moment before he passed that he came to visit with my aunts, and he had not been lucid for several months. And he walked past me and his eyes cleared. And he said, "I owe you an apology, don't I?" And I said, "Yes, you do." And he said, "I'm so sorry." And his eyes clouded back up and he went back into that state of dementia. And that was God, and that was God's mercy in this walk, because that was the closure I needed to put this behind me. And when we have things spoken over us, there are things that when you're told that you're not good enough, or you're told that you're fat, or you're gaining weight, or you're looking a little chunky, or, whatever that is, you don't think about it in that moment, but it starts to take root. Those are seeds that are planted in your heart. And over time, it begins to be weedy, and it begins to become dark. And that's why there's an effect. And the cause were those words, but the effect was that I began to binge eat and hide what I was eating. And it became this lifelong struggle that I would eat emotionally. But then God, He redeemed that. And in that last few moments of before my uncle passed away and he visited, he apologized. Like that shouldn't have happened. He hadn't been lucid. And God honored that. And he knew I needed that. And that was the beginning of breakthrough for me, and I still have to think and be very conscious, because you have those habits. But through being in the word and through prayer, God is like, "I've broken this off of you, and don't let the lies of the enemy come back and steal that from you." And so that is what I was able to walk out in doing this chapter, was to truly share that breakthrough, and to try to give hope to someone else that may be walking through the same type of struggle, whether it is the binge eating or not. But maybe it's that you've gone through something with a family member, and it's really hard when there's something that has to do with family. But
Yeah,
there's hope, there's breakthrough, in that. So
there is. It's really good. And what you said, that what he did back then planted
mhm.
seeds
Yeah,
and that grew into something unhealthy for you
yeah,
and your soul. And yeah, recognizing that, that's a miracle that he was able to actually apologize to you in that time. Like, yeah, that's one thing that you just have to go, God, you did that. I know
yeah.
for sure. So that's amazing. And I feel like that now you are out planting seeds in other ways. Like you're like yeah, you have a bag of seeds and of good things now.
Yeah.
You are spreading all over the place. Just take a few minutes and let us know what you're up to with all of your seeding of good things.
In my seeding of good things, right? So yeah, in this season, and that's what it is. I actually have stepped away from my job and have begun to write pretty much full time. And I have a children's book getting ready to come out. So I'll Yay, I'm so excited. Hopefully the next couple of weeks. But I've had this amazing opportunity. I started writing prayer journals about a year ago, and I partnered with someone and created prayer journals for a trip to Israel. And so I was able to go to Israel and got home 2 weeks before this crisis that's been happening, and was able to actually participate and help baptize the women that were on the trip with us. And that was amazing, and get to minister and speak into their lives. And then I was invited on a mission trip to Thailand. And while I was actually in Israel, I was praying about starting to lead a children's chapter, writing children's books. And God started highlighting children to me and about them being the future, them being the legacy. And so when I went into Thailand, I knew that we were going in to minister to women that have been sex trafficked, but we also got to go to the orphanages and into the community. And then we also got to go to Cambodian camps. And I got to see these children, and God just kept putting on my heart, these are the seeds that you're planting, these seeds of legacy, these seeds for the future. And this is the seeds of change. And I just, everywhere I looked, he just kept identifying and highlighting these kids to me. And I thought, this is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be speaking life into these children, because if you don't start there, there cannot be change. And so that's the season that I'm walking out, is that I am taking mission trips, and I've been invited to be on a mission team, and have been invited on at least 4 more mission trips for 2024. And I'm leading a new children's author book writing group, and we met for the first time on 11 a.m. So that was exciting. And he just keeps showing me that we are the branches and he is the vine. And when we walk out what he has for us, we can do so much. And that, when you say I'm your willing vessel, I mean, that is everything. And those things that we walk through in life, we can use those to bless others. And you don't realize those seeds that you have inside of you. You know, you might think that you're broken and you're shattered and this and that, but he says, no, I'm going to use that, and I'm going to take that, and I'm going to refine you in a way that you can use that to bless others, and then they can go out and they can plant seeds. And so that's what I'm walking out right now. And it's so amazing and so good. And yeah, I would have never thought, because I had been in healthcare forever, but he's taking those things, the curriculum writing and the interactions, and he's expanding what I was doing and allowing me to do more.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And you said
Yeah.
something too about like God can use all the things that we walk through. I
Yeah.
had a vision kind of one time. It was probably 10 years ago, I would guess. Probably 10 years
Mhm.
ago. Maybe more even. But of like driving a steamroller. And I was thinking, okay, Lord, what does that mean? Like, are you saying that I'm a steamroller? Because I don't really feel like I'm that kind of, but the steamroller, the the roll part,
Mhm.
it said grace on it.
Mhm.
And it was
Mhm.
crushing things that were hindering people, like
Yeah.
their path, like it was
Mhm.
like bigger rocks and things, but it was crushing it, but it was using the crushed gravel was useful
Yeah.
for the path. Like it was used on
Mhm.
the path still. And just that took a little unwrapping of what that meant initially, but I was like, God uses it all. And I can see how he's using your past things now for things that he's having you do now, right?
Right. And, he showed me a picture of a tree that was deeply rooted, and this base, and that's what we are, because, we are rooted in him. And then he showed branches, and each person's branch does not look the same. Like, we all may be called to write or to sing or whatever you're called into, but your branch, whether it's twisting down or twisting up, it has more branches and more leaves because there's more work to do. And just like he showed you, there's grace. There is grace in what we do, but he can use everything that we've gone through, and he can just take it. And if you don't need it, he will prune it off of you. And if you do, he'll give you some new growth over here and give you the grace to move forward, because we don't realize it when we're going through something. Like, I'm doing this, right? But it looks nothing like what I thought it was going to look like. I'm like, oh, I'm writing a book. Okay, yeah, no, I wrote this chapter. It's amazing. And now I have this children's book coming out. And now I'm leading this children's, that was not even on my radar,
Yeah.
but that's what he does. He gives you a piece of a puzzle or a step. And he's like, trust me enough to know that I know the way you need to go. And let me just have control of this. And then you walk where I lead you. And I feel like that's what we're doing. And that's what this book is doing. It's helping to give that hope and that faith and to walk out from your broken to breakthrough.
Right. I agree. I agree that well, with everything you said. And also too, I feel like that he does give us the piece. He gives us the one piece of the puzzle. He gives us the next step. He gives us a little encouragement towards something, a little confirmation, there's,
Yeah.
the next thing that he's leading us to. And that was our purpose with Broken Chapters, like you just said, was helping people to see, gosh, there's just so many things going on in people's lives, so many seasons or as we would call it in the book, chapters, that seem to be broken, that seem to be a struggle, where something wasn't right. There was a wound, there was a tragedy, injustice, whatever it was. But that doesn't have to be the end. That's not the final chapter. If you give it to God, he's going to do something new with it. Right.
Right. And I'm leading a Bible study too. And we actually are talking about seasons or chapters. And someone this week had the realization, because we've been talking, it's gone over a couple of weeks, you're not in a wrong chapter. You're not in a wrong season. But when you're in those hard seasons, he's growing you and stretching you. And even if you're in an in-between season, there's a purpose in that. And that's what I believe each one of these chapters helps you to see that we're all human. And when you start looking in the Bible at different people, they're all very much human. They make mistakes, but God gives them grace and he gives them, favor, and he helps them to walk out. And that's what, each season, you may be in a winter season, or you may be in your spring or your summer, wherever you're at, he's going to give you that grace to walk through it, no matter, what that looks like. The thing is, do you know what season that you're in? And do you understand what he's wanting to do with you and help you walk you through it?
That's a good question. Do you know what season you're in? And maybe it is a season of transition. I mean, here in my area, when we get to like middle of March, end of March, there's this transition kind of that's happening. You can feel it. You can see it in the trees. There's evidences of a transition happening. So yeah, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
Good question. What season are we in? And this book too, Broken Chapters, it also gives a glimpse into like regular people's lives, regular everyday people. Sometimes I think we can look at the heroes of the Bible or the heroes of the faith, even present day, and somehow God helps them more, right? God is speaking to them more somehow. We think these things sometimes, but just our 21 chapters and our 21 stories, and even just hearing stories and testimonies from anybody who's sharing those. And obviously you're doing a lot of sharing as you are out and about and all the things that you're involved in. I was like, regular people, how can just regular people, how are we seeing God speak and show up and move and work things out and change our hearts, change our circumstances in some cases, and just he's working. He's got some plans. He's very, very detailed. Very
Well,
detailed.
and he is, and he has that plan for us. You know, it may not look exactly like what we want, but
Yeah.
the thing that I'm finding is when I say yes, there was someone waiting for that next thing for me. And it doesn't matter if I'm here or if I'm in another country or I'm working on a non-for-profit right now, but there's somebody that is put right in my path that needed me in that moment. And guess what? I would have never guessed what they needed or what they need to share, or they may have something I need. And that's just as important because we're not always giving. Sometimes we need to receive. And so that's walking out this journey. And that's why this book is so important, because it truly does show you that God interacts with each person differently, but so intimately. But he shows up. He shows up when we need him. And that's so powerful. Like, it is the most powerful thing to be like, he is real. He has not changed yesterday, today, or forever. He is the same.
I'm so
And
thankful.
that's amazing. Yes, so thankful.
I'm so thankful. I don't know what I would do without him. It's hard to, work things in my own willpower and
Yeah.
trying to control this and that and all the things, and it just doesn't work. And I've tried, believe me.
Mhm.
I think pretty much everybody could say, yeah, tried that too. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jolie, I
Yes.
love what you're sharing. And if people are watching and they're thinking, gosh, I really love Jolene and I would
Yeah.
like to connect with her more,
Yes.
where I know you have books on Amazon that are for sale, but where can people connect with you more if they want to learn more about what you're up to?
Okay, so first of all, my name is spelled weird. Everybody spells it wrong. So you can connect with me on Facebook, and it is Joelene Powell. So it's Joelene Powell, Powell. I have an email. It's Joelene Powell 1123@gmail.com. I also have a Canva website where everything is, my prayer journals and everything's there right now. And it is Joe Powell, Powell .my.canva.site. And you can find me there.
Perfect. Okay, so find you on Facebook, find you
Yep.
on Amazon or your My Canva site for
Yep.
your books. And yes, I love this. I love this so much. It's so wonderful to see your beautiful face.
So good to see you. Thank you, Krista.
Thank you, Jolene. And thank you, listeners. I hope you have enjoyed this new episode of the Broken Chapters author interview series. This one with Joelene Powell. And thank you again for being here with us.
Yeah. Thank you, Krista. Have a good day.
Yes, you too. And thanks everyone for watching. Stay tuned for our next episode. And bye for now. We'll see you soon.